evening and a warm welcome, everyone, to my talk show, Tete at Suvees Power Meet in collaboration with Brand New here. I've got something to show all you wonderful people. Yes, the book in my hand. Indeed, the new rules of business, authored by Rajesh Srivastava. And yes, he is our guest for today. So
Hey,
let's
hi.
welcome him with a big warm round of applause.
Hey, hi. Hi, Suhani.
Hello, hello, hello. So good
Hi.
to have you on my show, and thank you. So it's I would say
Hey,
it's an honor to have you on my show. Thank you for coming.
Suhani is it's likewise. It's an honor to be invited by you.
How sweet is that? How sweet is that? So, just for all our viewers who are watching us, for you all to know, I'm sure all of you all know that a man like him needs no introduction, but yet I would definitely do the needful. So, Rajesh Srivastava, who was the former CEO of Helen and Curtis, that's JK Helen and Curtis. He is the adjunct faculty at IIM Indore. He's a corporate trainer. And yes, author of this wonderful book, The New Rules of Business. Great. So, today's talk show is going to be a little different than your regular interviews, which you give Rajesh ji, as I fondly call him. I hope that's going to be fine. So I always see, a person like you who is, I mean, would feel is so extremely occupied, so extremely busy. But I've always seen that you have time for everyone. I have never seen that if anybody approaches you, you have always seen that you give them time. How do you manage that?
Uh, Suhani, it's basically courtesy. If anyone has come to meet me or if anyone has invited me, it is courtesy on my part to reciprocate. So
Right.
I always make it a point to say yes. That's the first thing. Second thing I realized way back, almost 3 decades back, a current superstar of Bollywood, right? He was that time not a Bollywood star, and I used to handle a brand called Backpiper. So we were doing a program, or we were doing a consumer offer. So if any of my patrons got a Backpiper, there was a form inside it, and if
Hmm.
you filled it and you were
Hmm.
selected, you would get auditioned by Bollywood producers.
Oh,
And if you
wow.
won that, you would then get a chance to act in a Bollywood film. So
Lovely.
a young man that time, in a young man that time decided to enter our contest. He filled up the form. He was invited to come for the audition, but he came late.
Okay.
Uh, and therefore, because he came late, he could not audition and he lost it, the
Oh,
chance. But
right.
when he was leaving, he looked
Right.
at me and said, "You rejected me, and you're going to repent it because one day I'm going to be a superstar, and you don't have time for me today." So I looked at him and I said, "I'm not the guy who can audition you. Is the
Yeah.
producer. The
Right.
producers have left and you've come late." He said,
Right.
"Notwithstanding that, you don't have time for me. You could have stopped the producers for me." And he went on to explain what a big mistake I made.
Right.
2 decades later, when he became a superstar, I realized the mistake I made. And then from then on, I don't know who the next superstar would be,
Yeah.
right? I make time for everybody. And if I lost him, but I've got
Right.
so more people of eminence, so many more people of merit with whom I've been able to connect by just following one principle. That day, I lost a superstar, his friendship, and let's say his goodwill. But after that, I have always said yes, no matter how busy I am. And Sohani, we must always remember a very famous saying,
Right.
particularly for corporate guys. You must take a vacation when you can't afford one, right?
Okay.
But
Yes.
in corporate, what they say is, I'm too busy to take a vacation. And finally, when
Yes.
they take a vacation, they have a health problem or they have a family problem or both. I guess everyone has the same time, but the people who use their time wisely are
Right.
to benefit. And just to conclude, one thing, Warren Buffett, one of the richest man in the world, if you look at his engagement diary, appointment diary, you would find it near empty. And this
Right.
says, time is the most valuable asset I have, and I keep my diary empty. So that if
Right.
anyone of merit wants to see me, he always has time. So
Right.
Ani, my suggestion to everybody is make time for everybody. A, it's courtesy. Number two, when you refuse somebody, you don't know who are you refusing. Therefore, go
Correct.
and everybody. And the last thing is, everybody is better than us in some way or the other. So when you meet that person, you certainly learn something from that person.
Wow, that's amazing learnings.
So
Thank you so much for that. I'm sure there we've got Sandeep Pote who with us was saying, well said, sir. And he says, yes, you must take a vacation when you can't afford. Absolutely, absolutely. Fantastic. Wow. This is going to get more and more interesting as I see. So, this is one thing I always, a lot of people have to believe, a lot of people do not have to believe. It's the workings of your subconscious mind. And they say that, if you really you can really put your subconscious mind to proper use and utilize it to the optimum level. What do you say about it, sir? What are your views?
Swani, subconscious mind is the most powerful weapon we have. Unfortunately, like time, it is a zero cost. So we don't value anything that comes free with us.
Very
Now,
true.
if you go and study human and the memory, what you will realize is that every experience we go through is actually stored in our memory, right? So some of them are conscious and some of them are deeply embedded about which we are not conscious.
Correct.
Having understood or made this point, the second point that you got to realize is, whenever you face a problem, what I do is, faced with the problem, I actually do self talking. What is self talking? So you've seen the cricketers, when they are
Right.
batting and the ball beats them, they do a self talking to themselves, telling themselves, oh, you should not have done this, or you should have done this, right? Or play this way. The same thing
Right.
what I do. And so what are the players doing? They
Right.
already have something which is called a muscle memory, and they are awakening their muscle memory by saying, don't do this. So that
Correct.
when the in cricketing terms, when the ball comes, their muscle memory takes over, which is their unconscious behavior. So when they self talk, they're telling their unconscious memory, don't play
Mm.
this or play that. The same is true for us. In our
Right.
unconscious memory resides all our experience. The
Right.
moment we transfer or we hand over the problem to them, it is like a personal assistant who's working 24/7 to solve that.
Right.
And if you don't put pressure on that unconscious mind while the unconscious mind is working, it will
Mm.
actually look at similar situations that you
Mm.
have been with and how you solved it. So if I submitted a problem, the unconscious mind will keep on working to understand where in the past have I met with a similar problem and how did I solve it, and it would throw up that solution. Right?
Mm.
And this is exactly what I wish to tell everybody, not just me. When all of us have that unconscious mind, it is like the Jeeves, it is like the Google, but most of us don't use it. So if you
Right.
want to actually, it's called, if you want to have two times your computing power, start
Right.
solving problem to your unconscious mind, don't put pressure on it, and that unconscious mind will surprise you with the
Yeah.
kind of answer it gives you. So let me just
Yeah.
give you, you might say, hey, listen, that's all so good. So let me tell you what Isaac Newton,
Right.
the person who made the three laws of gravity. So
Right.
he saw apple falling, and somebody says, apple falls every day. So how did you
Right.
discover gravity? Did you discover by seeing an apple fall? He says, stupid, no. I did not discover gravity by seeing the apple fall. I was constantly thinking about it, right? And when he
Ah,
was thinking about it, not only was he consciously thinking about it, but he had unconsciously submitted that problem to his unconscious mind. So when he saw
right,
that apple fall, his unconscious mind made that connection. So
right.
remember, if not me, Isaac Newton, he's a stupid by constantly thinking about it. And how can you
Right.
constantly think about a problem you're facing? By submitting it to your unconscious mind.
Just
So if
mind, yeah.
if you want to be the next Newton in your industry, in your profession,
Yeah.
use your subconscious mind
Subconscious mind.
like what Isaac Newton did.
Yeah. That's
All
that's
solutions reside there. All solutions
right.
reside in your unconscious mind.
Wow, wow, wow.
So this is
That's
what I could tell you.
that's absolutely fantastic, sir. Thank you so much for sharing that. This brings me to ask you, so I have always had the opportunity and the honor of listening to you on various platforms, but you're one single person that I've heard in your various the knowledge that you're imparting, but you always remember to get your family to be a part of it, whether it's your beloved wife, or it's your mom. And you give us such wonderful incidents of your lives that that's something which we remember and we take back home, and we actually have so much of learnings from it. So please could you share further on it, because it just shows that I always say an individual who always says that family is your foundation. If you if you have that strong, then you can then the sky's the limit. You can reach anywhere, anything that you want to do. So sir, please, if you could kindly give us your views on
So let me just share this with you. The zero cost multiplier force that we have subconscious mind, we hardly ever use it.
it. Right.
We let it just go waste. The second thing that we have at our command, which we take for granted, unfortunately, is our family. So let
Family.
me just tell you this story. I am what I am because of my wife, and I'll just give you one reason for that, right? And that one reason is I think in mid '90s, early
Mm,
'90s, I won the best marketeer of the year award. So I was voted as the best marketing person in our country.
right.
I was invited by various business school. That time I was in corporate, but business school invited me to share my strategy, how I created some of the finest brands in the country.
Right.
So I used to handle a brand called Backpiper, and it
Yes.
had celebrity endorsers. So I used to go and share with people how we made Backpiper into India's largest selling brand, and then of course it went on to become the world's largest selling brand. And because celebrities were let's say one part of the strategy, the presentation had a lot of these celebrities, right? So it was like a
Mm,
Bollywood film I would present to the students, and they
yeah.
would love it. So in one such B school, I was invited in the evening to deliver a talk on, and the topic, Swani, was marketing with hands tied. Because in
Right.
alcohol industry, you don't have all the variables to create a brand. So in
Yeah.
alcohol, our hands are tied, feet are cut, and we create brand. So
Right.
they people are more eager to listen to us. B school invited us one evening to share my presentation.
Mm,
Uh, Later that evening, we had to go for a dinner. So my wife also had joined me,
mm,
and she was sitting in the audience.
mm.
It was an auditorium. More than 200 students filled it. Students were sitting on the aisle,
I
and
okay.
when I was presenting, they were clapping, they were whistling. It was as if they were seeing a Bollywood film. And I narrated, what a great job I had done. Like an idiot, I just did that. And they were clapping, etc. After the presentation got over, I felt like a superstar because students
Yes.
surrounded me to
Yes.
ask me a question. And then, of course, finally, I got into my car, and
Mm,
my wife was sitting next to me, and I asked her, "So, what did you think of this presentation?" So she said
yeah.
nothing. And then again, I asked her, "What do you think?" She said it was
Yeah.
okay. And I was
Okay.
surprised. You mean okay? There were people who were clapping, whistling, students.
Yeah.
He looked at me. He says, "Yeah, but it was good." I said, "What do you mean good? Wasn't it super?" She says, "No, it was good because And I asked her why, and then she says because it was a
Right.
movie job. So, for instance, you said you made Bagpiper, or Bagpiper became the world's largest, India's largest selling brand of blended Scotch
Right.
whisky. And then
Right.
you said how? I said, of course, we made Bagpiper, and I was sharing with them how. And she said, this is exactly where you are missing a trick. What you should do is engage your audience. So I would recommend that you pose a question to the students and said, I was given the challenge of making Bagpiper the world's largest selling brand of blended Scotch whisky. Or I was given the challenge of making Bagpiper India's largest selling brand of blended Scotch whisky. If you were in my position, what would you do?
Uh,
The moment you pose this question, they would start thinking, they would get engaged in this presentation, and they will give you answers. And once they give you answers, then you give what you actually did. In this way, engagement will increase. The next
wow.
presentation, I followed my wife's strategy. I engaged the audience by asking them, what would you do if you were in my position? And that improved the quality of my engagement and my presentation 10 times.
Wow.
This input
Wow.
came from my wife.
Right.
My son, I started teaching at IIM Indore, and my students think I'm very contemporary because I can talk about Real Madrid, Ronaldo,
Yeah.
all the hip music and chic stars. So people think that I'm actually into it. It's actually not.
Right.
I'm not into it. My son is, and because I want to engage with my son, therefore I also got interested. And
Right.
each time we watch a match together, he tells me the nuances of how Ronaldo and Messi are playing. So I absorb all that and I go and actually broadcast that to students. And the students
Yeah.
erroneously feel that I'm so hip and modern. And finally, so my son, in fact, I was not on social media.
Mm.
It is he who got me into social media. And today I'm so I'm like a duck. I've taken it like duck to water. So if my
Yeah.
son were not there, I would not be perceived to be modern, youthful, and I wouldn't have got onto social media. And lastly, my
Right.
and this is something very, very important for me. My mother is still with us. So each time I go out on an assignment for a company and I come back, my mother only asks me one question. And that one question is in Hindi first, I will say, and then English. I say,
जी.
I've returned back. And my mother just says, जिसके लिए तुम काम करने गए थे वो लोग तो खुश है ना तुमसे.
जी.
So
जी.
the people for whom you had gone to work, I hope they are happy with your work.
Happy. Correct.
And I always have to say yes. And to make sure that I say yes, I have to work extra hard so that
Right.
people for whom I work or who invite me to work, they're really happy. Now,
Right.
you just see three different people.
Mm.
My wife gave me an insight how to be an engaging speaker or to be a compelling communicator.
Right.
My son taught me how to be on social media and he taught me how to be modern. And my
Yeah.
mother, by asking that question, makes me work extra hard to make sure that I say, yes, they're happy with me. And do you know something? By doing all this, I become so much more better. And it's all
Yeah.
because of the family that my family, my wife, my son, and my mother.
Yeah. Thank you once again. That was a wonderful sharing, and I'm sure all our viewers are completely enjoying this wonderful conversation that we are having with you. Uh, it's really great. And as I said before, I posed the question to you that yes, even I really feel that family is your foundation, and if they are there with you, you can reach the stars. The sky is the limit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Connect with you. Connect with you.
Yeah. Well, that brings me, to ask you. There are so many things that you have done in your life. Right from being into the corporate world to, being a trainer, being a coach, and of course, being a teacher, being a professor, and now an author. But in every phase of your life, what is it that keeps you motivated? What is it that keeps you going? And what is that value system of work that that you always carry along with you?
Sunny, there are. I'll just give. two answers to it. There are many, but I think two main answers are this.
Right.
You know me, so you know me and you've seen me, so you would find that I don't have a very forceful personality. My voice is very weak. I'm not tall at all. I'm not, neither am I fair. So I have all the disadvantage, that you could actually conceive in a person, because normally it is believed that you have to be tall, you have to be extrovert to be successful.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
have all the drawbacks that I think a normal person has. And
Right.
I wanted to actually first prove to myself and then to others that the drawback actually resides in your mind. It actually is non-existent. So
Right.
despite the drawbacks, I have worked extra hard to make myself successful. And I tell my students and I tell in corporate also, if I can be successful or if I can achieve what I have achieved, then why can't you? And the only
Right.
thing that prevents you from achieving your goal, your objective, or your larger perspective in life is you yourself, and not the drawback that the world points out to you or you believe you have. So that's the first thing. Stemming out of that, so there's no drawback, it's all in our mind.
Hmm.
Second thing which is very important is I have this crazy desire, but I think it's a very altruistic desire, that I want to leave my country in a better state than I found it in. So whoever I meet, I try and communicate with them or add value to them, so that when my engagement with them, my interaction with them ends, they should feel that they are a better person after the conversation than they were before they
Right.
had the conversation with me. And I do it for every person. I really care. I really want to add value to everybody. And the third thing that I wish to tell you is that people believe that you need money, you need an infrastructure to, to create great brands in India. It's really not true. The companies that I have worked with and the brands that I have created, we did not have to actually spend money.
Right.
It's only just a passionate desire to solve people's problem. So, for example, and it's true everywhere. For example, I'll give you my deodorant example.
Right.
When I became the CEO of JK Helen Curtis, the deodorant category was 66 crore, less than 100. Today, almost what, 18 years or 19 years, or maybe just about 18 years have gone by. I've left JK Helen Curtis. I no longer work with them, but the deodorant category is about 6,000 crores. It's grown 100 times. It is just based on one consumer insight. It is, and today, just to tell you,
Right.
Suhani, you go in any part of my country, our
Mm.
country, in fact, whether it is a kirana store, general merchant, pharmacist, a big bazaar, a Reliance retail, there is no shop. There is no shop that can operate today unless they have a range of deodorant.
Yeah.
Deodorant is an integral part of it. This was not the case in 2002, right? And what did I do? I did not do anything magical. I just looked at the category and using my imagination, past experience, said, I will not sell deo, I'll sell perfume. I'll not
Perfect.
sell deo, I'll sell perfume. This simple shift of no to deodorant and yes to perfume did not require any money. It did not require anything. What it required was my subconscious mind. What it
Right.
required was judgment. What it required was intuition. What it required was data. And that data was available to everybody. But what is different is everybody uses left side of that brain, right? Which is data. What I
Right.
used was use the left side of my brain to get data, and then I
Right.
use the left side of my brain to interpret it in a creative manner, right? So again, just to tell you, most people, our education system also again makes people left brain oriented, which is
Yes.
data, evidence, etc.
Yes. Yes.
But what they leave unutilized is the most important part, which is the right side of the brain, where creativity, innovation, judgment, intuition reside. So what did I
Right.
do? I use the lesser part which most people don't use, and I said no to deo, yes to perfume. So again, just to reiterate, left side of the brain gave me all the data. This is where the world stops.
Right.
But what I did is I layered it with my right brain and I interpreted that data in a creative manner, saying I no to deo, yes to perfume. Just this thing, no to deo, yes to perfume, led to a product creation which was more perfume. So, so,
Yes.
so, so my entire perspective is, what is the motivation? Motivation is, I want people to realize person like me could do it. Everyone can. Second thing is, I want to leave India in a better shape than I did, and therefore, anyone who calls me, I actually spend time to add value to their life. And number
Right.
three, I want to say that there are enough number of people, right? If
Right.
you want to create categories, you want to create brands, you want to create turnaround companies, you want to explode categories, money is not required. What is required is passion, commitment, and a use of right side. And so, Annie,
Right.
I just want to say this before we continue ahead. We spoke about a few things. All of them are zero cost vehicles.
Right.
They are, they can give you exponential advantage, but we don't use it. And what
Right.
are this? The first is subconscious mind.
Right.
Second, we don't use is our
Mm.
family, right?
Yeah. Right.
Don't actively engage them. And the
Right.
third thing that we don't use is the right side of our brain.
Right. The
And
creative.
to tell you, in 21st century, the year that we are in, is the right side of the brain that will give competitive advantage, because left side of the brain, the computers are taking over. Right? So
Mm.
left side of the brain is about decision making, doing repetitive job, etc. So which is what artificial intelligence and automation will take over. So friends, it's a sincere recommendation that you should strengthen the right side of your brain as well, where creativity, innovation resides.
Well, that's absolutely correct, Rajesh ji, as you said that when we use both the sides of our brain, together, and if we then I think the results are. As you can see, we have got Rajesh ji with us, and the results are always super fantabulous. But I wanted to tell you that you are the most soft spoken person that I've ever come across, and you are the most wonderful person inside out that I've ever met. So,
So
yeah,
great.
undoubtedly, that is something which I definitely vouch for, because whenever I've met you, I've only it's been so great, the conversations that we've had and the learnings that I've learned from you. They've always been absolutely amazing, sir.
My
Amazing.
pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure.
This is something which is very close to my heart, and that is giving back to society. I think that's something which I started way back when I was all of 15, when I earned my first earnings, and that's the time I even started doing my social work. So you have done so many varied things, Rajesh ji. What is your take on giving back to society?
So, Annie, we must all give back, but I'll just tell you a small story,
Yeah.
at least metaphorically, why I have started giving back more now in this part of my life than before, even before I was, but now it is even more. And this is a story that is true for all people who are with us. See, what happened was that when I was young, and once I was young, so
Mm.
I had all the dreams that all young people have. I wanted to earn money. I wanted a good house, a good address, a good car. I wanted foreign travel, foreign vacation, 5-star club membership, all that.
Yeah.
And I worked extra, and I worked hard to climb this mountain, and I did achieve almost all of that. I did
Right.
achieve all that I told you. Good job, salary, club membership, foreign travel, etc. But the surprising part is when I reached the top of that mountain,
Right.
right? I felt a sense of loneliness. That okay, I achieved it, but I felt empty. Now
Mm.
on top of that hill, which I had climbed for almost 2 decades, I reached it, and then I felt I was empty, and there was something missing.
Right.
Up that hill, when I looked around, I saw a second mountain. And that second
Right.
mountain was not about money, was not about the address, it's not about the car, it's not about the bank balance. This time, this second mountain is about giving back, about contributing to the society, about leaving the society in a better place, about helping others. So what I did is I climbed down from the first mountain, and now I've started the climb of the second mountain. And the second mountain, I have still not reached the peak, but the second mountain is not about money. It's about giving back to the society, contributing to the society, contributing to make other people, better, or contributing to their growth. So, so metaphorically, I want to tell everybody, as young people, you will want money, address, status, car. Please get it, but that is tantamount to climbing the first mountain. And I can assure you, not just me, many people who have climbed this first mountain, they feel lonely.
mm,
Why? Because research done indicates that what makes you unhappy, and there are three things that make you unhappy: relentless pursuit of money, relentless
mhm.
pursuit of beauty, relentless pursuit of popularity. All these
Right.
three are not in our hand.
Mm,
So climb the first mountain, do it, because only then you will realize the futility of what you've been doing, but do it. And once you reach the top, do look around, you will also find a second mountain. And the second mountain is not about you, it's not about money, it's not about popularity, it's not about beauty. It is about three things. First is, how can you grow it every day? How can you contribute to other people's growth? How can you be in company of people better than you? How can you give back to the society? How can you contribute to elevate suffering, or now for planet sustainability? So it's this thought that keeps me going. And to put it in one word, now at this age in my life, I'm trying to climb the second mountain, which is not about me, which is about giving. And this
okay.
climb is proving to be much more happier than the first climb.
Wow, fantastic, sir, fantastic. So, sir, this book has been such a wonderful book. I think it's the most uh, easy to read because of the language that you've used. It's so very much it connects with everyone, and at the same time, there are so many wonderful learnings in it. So, this is the book that you have written now. What is your next project, sir?
So,
The next book.
the next book again is commissioned by Penguin,
Right.
and there I just want to give you a background. The background is from two independent sources, and I just alluded to it during the earlier part of our conversation. World Economic Forum
Yeah.
says that by 2025, and this they
Mhm,
did in 2015, so it's almost 6 years have gone by. What they are saying is that they did a research, and imagine a triangle, right?
mm,
They
mm,
did a research, and what they discovered is, and this is a global research, that 70% of the jobs
mm,
across the world which are repetitive will get automated. Like ATM already has, cashier already has, and now you will get driverless cars, etc. So 70% of jobs which are repetitive will get automated, and they're likely to disappear. The next 25% of the job where all of you who are with us, this community, are engaged in, which is decision making, right?
yes.
We get
Right.
up because we take decisions. Now what is going to happen there is that with artificial intelligence and deep machine learning coming in, even
Mm,
decision making will get taken over by machines.
mhm,
95% of the job that exist, have existed, and are existing today are likely to be under threat. Now,
mm,
can you imagine? This is not what I'm saying. This is what the World Economic Forum is saying. If
correct.
95% of jobs will disappear, you will get impacted. So the question you will be asking is, so what should you do to secure your future to remain relevant? And that
Right.
is what World Economic Forum has come out, that it is very difficult to predict what jobs will get created, but what they are saying is, whatever jobs get created, you need certain skills, and those
Right.
skills are that you need to be a good critical thinker, you need to be creative, you got to be innovative, you've got to be a good business storyteller, you've got to have the power to influence people over whom you have no authority, you have to be a lifelong learner, you have to learn to frame the right question, you have to have a humaneness in you. Now, if you have these traits, then no matter what job gets created, machines can't take this over. So machine
Right.
cannot good critical thinker, it cannot be creative, it cannot be innovative, it cannot be a good business storyteller,
Yeah,
it
in
cannot have
humanity. Yeah,
yeah, it cannot be humane, it cannot
yeah,
influence people over whom it has no authority. So
right,
that's my next book, that how will you cope with the world that is soon going to emerge, where your job are going to is going to be under pressure or under threat.
right.
So my next book is actually going to help you address your future.
Wow. So very much looking forward to it. So very much looking forward to it. I mean, that will be an amazing, amazing, wonderful read because there will be so much to learn. That's wonderful. So I want all of you wonderful viewers to know that Sir is going to basically on 12th of February at 5 p.m. He is giving a talk on what if the soul of your business disappeared overnight and how to convert calamities into opportunities. So
Wow.
do connect with us if you want to be be a part of this wonderful event where Rajesh sir is going to be speaking about this amazing topic, which I think a whole lot of us went through, especially during the time when the pandemic hit us and we all went through that severe lockdown. So I think it's something which we are really, really waiting for. That's 12th of February, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'm quickly going to flash the flyer, which is right here. I don't, yeah, right here. I'm sorry you guys can't see it. Oh, it's not being, it's barely visible. But I'm going to share it on all my social media handles. So please do look out for it. So it was the most amazing conversation that I've had today, Rajesh ji. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed it. All our viewers who've joined us have really, really enjoyed it too, and had an immense amount of learnings. Thank you for sharing. And yes, family, your subconscious mind, make the most of it, as Rajesh ji said it. I mean, that was something which I think all of us need to learn and need to really understand that. Yes, sir, tell us.
Yeah. Friends, I just want to say two things, and again, reinforce what Suhani mentioned. Nature has given us many zero cost vehicles which we can use for a competitive advantage. And Suhani just mentioned, and we discussed. First is your subconscious mind. Please submit problems to it and don't put pressure. You will get amazing solutions.
Right.
Please engage family, in a more meaningful manner. You cannot imagine how supportive they can be. Number three, quit being only evidence based and left brain. Please do that, but actually top it up with right brain. It doesn't
Yes.
cost you anything more. The fourth thing that I wish to tell you is about this book, and it's very important for me to share about this book. Why I wrote this book. Uh, while working and traveling across the world, particularly after 2008, what I noticed is that there are new age companies like Uber, Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, Alibaba. They're dismantling the old rules of business and installing new rules, right? And therefore, these companies are the world's most valuable company. But unfortunately, a majority of companies in every part of the world, including our own country, we are using the old rules. Now, these old rules are getting dismantled and we continue to use them. So, what is it akin to? In an era when there is smartphone, you still continue to use rotary phone. How would you feel? You would be at a
Yeah.
disadvantage. And therefore, in this book, what I have done is I have given you new rules of business in an easy to understand. It's written in a business storytelling fashion. So what you got to
Yes.
do is, if you're interested in knowing what the new rules is, do get this book. It's available on Amazon, and you would love it, right? And it will tell you in quick, rapid fire manner what you should be doing. And that's what I wanted to do, not so much to promote the book, but to help you gain an understanding of the new rules in which you should actually be doing business. That's all.
Great. Yes, I friends, I would really like all to all the viewers. Seriously, Please go and get your copy today. Do not waste any further time if you do not have it, because this is a wonderful read. You know, all these years that I have been into, I mean, working, and I've heard so much of it. Every time you hear, you always say, "Client is your God. Client is everything. Customer is everything." It's true. Customer is everything, but so often we forget that without our employees, without our team, we are nothing. And that's what this book talks about, says about, and it taught me that too. So if you really want amazing learnings which are really going to help you in your day to day business life and how to change it and how to make it better, it's only the new rules of business that is going to help you, which is penned by none other than Rajesh Srivastava ji. So go
Thank
and
you.
get your copy today.
It's on Amazon.
Well,
It's on Amazon.
yes, it's available on Amazon. Do
Amazon,
go and get
Flipkart.
all the platforms. Just type, it's just a click away. No, no, it's not that difficult at all, just a click away. Well, on that note, we shall say thank you so much once again. It was really an amazing time. This tete-a-tete that we've had was so wonderful. I'd like to thank all our viewers, and as I say it in every of my episode, please stay safe and please be positive. And to all you wonderful people here, if there is something worrying you, don't keep it bottled up within you, because it's only going to harm your health. Okay, if you will, please communicate it either to a friend who you trust, your inner circle, or to a family member, because you never know the problem you're facing. Maybe somebody else is facing the same problem and you could help them too. Yeah, and communicating always helps. And remember, if you look after yourself, you can look after your families. So please do that. On that note, we shall say, have a great working week ahead. God bless each and every one of you. And would once again want each and every one of you all to get your copy of this book today. And please go on to my YouTube channel. That's Dr. Sohani Mendonca. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment, as your feedback is very, very important to us. Thank you once again. Thank you, Rajeshji, once again.
Thank
On that
you.
note,
Thank
bye
you.
bye. God bless everyone.
God bless. Bye. Thank you, Suhani, for
Hello.
having. And thank you, guys.
Hi.
Bye.